of stalling throughout this game as the Vikings go on to win 23-10. Both teams eliminated from postseason contention, but the Packers now clinching a playoff spot with the Detroit Lions loss. Post-game for your Christmas Day slate is back and delivered by Little Caesars, the official pizza sponsor of the NFL. I'm joined by CBS Sports NFL analyst Emery Hunt, and the Lions now out of the postseason for the first time since 2020 after what I will fairly, I think, call an abysmal performance by their offense. I mean, Minnesota getting the victory despite just a whopping 3 net passing yards on the day by backup quarterback Max Brosmer. Detroit, 8 turnovers coming into this game. They have 6 on the night. My question to you is, was this a result of maybe this Detroit offense just not playing to what we are used to maybe seeing, or was this just a Brian Flores-led defense that really made things challenging?
Yes, all of that is true. See all of the above. And the big reason why, you look at Detroit, how lifeless they looked on offense. There was no sense of urgency.
For games, that's not including tonight, that's coming into this game. But just how do you describe this season for Detroit, who, if we're being honest, many believe coming into this season, they would make it challenging for one of those top teams in the NFC?
Yeah, it's very surprising because we thought at worst this team would be able to hang their hats on running the football and playing solid defense. You thought coming in, okay, you have Aiden Hutchinson back healthy, ready to go. That's going to help the pass rush. We know they were banged up in the preseason. We knew some guys were going to come back healthy, but we saw this not really be the case for them at the latter part of the season. But offensively speaking, because they couldn't even run the football consistently or when they wanted to in the latter part of the season, and Goff's turnovers, inopportune time type mistakes and miscues, and you had a coaching taking over the play calling. Dan Campbell took over the play calling, and so things changed there. But he's still aggressive, and some of that came back to bite him, like it did a couple of years ago in the playoff game, and how it did sometimes this season. But in this particular game, just shocking that we saw a Lions team does not play like how they were built to play in these type of moments.
There's been a lot of talk about their point differential because we talk about Dan Campbell taking over the play calling. Well, they've seen an uptick in performance since he has taken over in the latter weeks. However, it's not quite reflecting when we're looking at what their record is right now. But I do want to look a little bit ahead, because now you think about this Detroit team. This is back-to-back years prior to coming into this year where they had shortcomings into the postseason. This year, another year where they're expected to make a push for one of those top teams in the NFC. So what is next for this Detroit Lions team as we start looking ahead now to the offseason and them trying to maybe just gear back up for another postseason run potentially next year? Are they built for that?
I think they are. And number one, because Brad Holmes, the general manager, does a great job in drafting and acquiring talent. That's why they're in the position they are in now in terms of the expectations in saying that, hey, we expected this team to be in the postseason and make a run for a Super Bowl. We saw them get to the NFC Championship game a few years ago. We saw them play deep into the playoffs last season. And so those are the reasons why you have confidence that they can get it done this offseason. Again, they started this year very banged up on the defensive line. They lost some key guys to injury, but they've drafted really well. And they have a lot of their key core players locked up under contract, and some guys even got those extensions. So they're fine from a personnel perspective. A couple of glue guys they could sign back. Meek Robertson, they could try to re-sign and bring him back. I thought he was really good for them this year. The draft is coming up. We know how well they've attacked the draft, not only within the rounds, but also with the undrafted free agents. So I have no qualms that this team can return back to form and get back to where they need to be, because we saw Alim McNeil come back healthy toward the back end of the season, which is huge. That was a big part of their defensive line. Next year, they'll get Levy Onwukorike back, who missed the entire season because he got hurt in the preseason. So I have little worries about them not being able to sustain the level of play we saw from them in the last couple of years outside of this season.
Okay, sustaining that level of play, but now it's not just that, because now you have to worry about the Bears. You have to worry about it may potentially the Vikings, but you're also looking at that Packers team who did lock up a spot in the postseason, so maybe more so of an uphill climb regardless of how they retool in this offseason. But let's stick with Minnesota for a little bit, because they are also now looking ahead to the offseason. But we got to think about what Brian Flores put together in this game, yet another defensive masterpiece. What does this say just about a potential head coaching job in his future?
I mean, look at how the guys play for him, and look at how he has completely did a 180 from the last time we saw him as a head coach. I think he's now ready to take that job again and do better the second time around, Lamar style. And I like the fact that he went in there this time and against this opponent in this particular situation and knocked them out the playoffs. And it was because, to be completely fair and honest, and the stats bear this out true, the defense won this ball game for the Minnesota Vikings. They really didn't do nothing but hold the football on offense. They didn't do much. They had the one big touchdown, and hey, it was enough to win the game. But the defense forced these turnovers. The defense was harassing Jared Goff. The defense looked like a team that was led by a guy that's a future NFL head coach once again.
Yeah, absolutely. A masterful performance that we saw of him. And like you mentioned, that offense not having to muster up much, just 3 net passing yards, but it's enough to hold it down for the Vikings as they eliminate the Detroit Lions from the postseason. But I think the big storyline when we're talking about this offense stalling and struggling in this game, take a look at their takeaways these past 5 games. Playing a clean stat sheet. Weeks 13 through 16, we talked about coming into this game just 8 turnovers on the year, putting up 6 turnovers in week 17, and those turnovers costing them a postseason bid.
Make up for lost time.
The postseason, but it all starts with a victory today. Deuce, give me a sense of what you're looking out for in Detroit, Minnesota here today.
Yeah, when I look at that game, it looks like Brosmer will go because J.J. McCarthy went out in that game and took a vicious hit from Brian Burns last week on a protection bust by him, right? He has to understand you slide the line, you got to know that defensive end is unblocked. But I love what I saw from Max Brosmer, right, in the second half. First time he was out there was the Seattle Seahawks. That's a taunting defense. That's a tough place to play in Seattle. Now he'll be in the confines of his home. They're going to lean on Aaron Jones to run the football, and they did that in the second half versus the New York Giants. So that's what I'm looking to see in this game, right? I want to see the Minnesota Vikings come out and establish the run with Aaron Jones because that Lions defense really struggled stopping the run versus Pittsburgh last week. I mean, Kenneth Gainwell is still running with the football right now, so that is going to be the big thing. You got a young, undrafted rookie quarterback. Let's lean on the run game in the offensive line. I think that's what the Minnesota Vikings do.
I mean, kind of playing a free space when you play that Lions defense. They're not very good. I mean, they when you saw them get run on by the Steelers team that didn't run the ball very well. They aren't great in the secondary. He struggled when he played Seattle, but he was much better last week.
Right.
And on the flip side, that Vikings defense has been really good the last 9 games.
They've been really good.
I mean, it's been incredible. And Brian Flores, again, we say it every year. Brian Flores is a hell of a coach, and what he's doing with that defense is truly special right now.
It's been 6 straight games. They are chasing history right now. 1988 Cleveland Browns. Last time we saw a team go 6 straight games without allowing a passing touchdown. So here comes Jared Goff, who's as hot as any quarterback in the league right now. If you extend that 7 games, it's 1 passing touchdown. That was Lamar Jackson. We're talking about some pretty good quarterbacks here. Caleb Williams, Dak Prescott, Sam Darnold when he was playing well, Jayden Daniels, the one game that he played coming back from the elbow injury. Like, they've been doing this against some very good opponents. And Jared Goff is not good in Minnesota. Typically we say, oh, Goff indoors, he's really good. In his games, I'll bring it back to fantasy. 14 fantasy points per game. Usually we say 20 points is a good game for quarterbacks. He's averaging 14 fantasy points per game in 5 career games in Minnesota. 1 game with the Rams, 4 with the Lions. So it's really tough to sit him in the championship week. He's got back-to-back games with 31 fantasy points. I'm sitting him for Tyler Shuck. That's how confident. That's how confident I am in this Vikings defense. I think Tyler. Well, look, one guy's taking on the Titans, one guy's taking on the Vikings. I'm going to play the matchups here, and I'm just going to sit Jared Goff. I don't love doing it, but I'm going to do it.
To that point, J-Man, another guy that has kind of struggled the last 2 weeks, Jahmyr Gibbs. Where are you at with him as far as starting to send him? Because last 2 weeks, under 100 scrimmage yards, and I think they have to get him going. Because to your point, if they allow Brian Flores and his defense to get 3rd and long, it's going to be a long day for that Lions offense. Because what they do with simulated pressures and then putting people at the line of scrimmage where you have to figure out who's actually coming and who's not. If you're in 3rd and long, it's going to be a long day versus defense.
Yeah, I'm not getting away from Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm getting away from David Montgomery because they've given him fewer than 10 touches in 6 straight games now. So he's touchdown or bust. I think the problem for the Lions offense from a statistical standpoint, the Vikings are not going to push the scoreboard. And so they can just come in here, 17 points might win this game, 20 points might win this game. You know, so that's the concern. But in terms of Gibbs, I'm still starting him. And even though the quarterback production may not be high, the yardage will still be there for St. Brown and Jameson Williams. So you're still starting those guys, but you got a really low expectation.
One guarantee, take it to the bank. Dan Campbell will mess up some situation.
Oh, my goodness.
He'll kick a field goal, take it to the bank. Guarantee.
Scrooge.
Give him the hat. Give him the hat. All right. Tommy, I believe you said there's a 5% chance that the Lions can make the playoffs. So they're 8-7 right now, 3rd in the NFC North behind the Bears, who are 11-4. Then we look at the Packers, 9-5-1. They're holding the 8th spot right now in wild card contention. Todd, I'm going to get you involved in this one. Can they make the playoffs, the Lions? And if not, or if they do, who's out?
I mean, if we want to channel our inner Lloyd Christmas, so to speak, you're saying there's a chance. It's not a great one by any stretch of the imagination. But look, the Lions have to start the dominoes by winning this game themselves and putting on all their divisional compatriots. The Green Bay Packers don't exactly have an easy matchup tomorrow night against the Baltimore Ravens, who are still fighting for their playoff lives. So while they need a number of things to fall the right way for them, the Lions have to take care of business. And I think all of the cases that the guys outlined for the concerns we've had with Detroit, I mean, it starts with the ground game that has really been an afterthought. Jahmyr Gibbs last week, 7 carries, 2 yards. I mean, David Montgomery, Jamie's point, has been an absolute afterthought. And you look at his snap share, it can